And I'm sorry, I'm bitter about this, okay? We need to correct the problem. Hi, I'm Michael Rubino, indoor air quality expert, and today's episode is about the dangers of painting over mold. I think when we thought about mold as a perspective of just being unsightly, sure, you just paint right over it, right? And then your black wall that turned black because of water damage, now it's white again, right? The color it was supposed to be, fine. But knowing that it's a living organism that creates particles and toxins that spread across the house, that impact the human body 20,000 times per day, I think we can all get behind this sentiment that painting over mold is just a bad idea. You clicked on this video, right? So the reason you clicked on this video is because you're like, I want to hear what this guy has to say about painting over mold. And maybe it's because painting over mold sounds like a low-cost solution to a sometimes high-cost problem. And sure, if we want to consider it as a solution, it would be a low-cost thing you could do. But let me tell you why it doesn't work as a solution. Let's say I have a roof leak and it leaks into this wall. All right, and it's coming from the roof, so it's coming down the wall, the whole full wall. Let's say it's an 8-foot tall wall. I've got water damage coming down 8 feet, right? I start to see some stains, maybe some black stuff starts to pop through the color of the paint, and I just paint over it. You know what's gonna happen? Not only is it gonna affect my health, because it's very common knowledge today. If you look at any information from the EPA, CDC, FEMA, IICRC, list goes on, right? Everybody agrees mold, not really great for our health. Probably bet healthier without it than with it, okay? If I just keep painting over this spot, every time that roof leaks, more water comes down. I gotta paint over it again. Roof leaks again, more water comes down. I gotta paint over it again. What am I actually solving? Other than I'm kind of hiding this issue that I have with fresh paint. That's really all it's doing. And all the while, by the way, we still have catastrophic levels of mold and bacteria forming in this wall because we're not actually addressing the root cause of the problem that allowed the mold to grow in the first place. We're not addressing anything other than the way it looks by just painting it. And this ideology has gotten so many people sick. Why is that? Because as you're painting this wall, you're introducing more chemicals to something completely organic. You're introducing really more moisture. You're allowing for the moisture problem to perpetuate, so that colony of mold just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You're just feeding it more and more and more and more because you're not addressing the problem. Because it's a roof leak, we don't really know the path the water is traveling. Maybe you have rat feces up in your attic. Maybe there's, bird droppings, what have you. And that water is traveling through it and bringing bacteria into the mix as well. So now you have mold and bacteria problem, right? All of this is impacting you because every breath that you take, 20,000 times per day, whatever particles are in your environment are entering your body. And so you're not doing yourself any justice on the health front by painting over mold. Although, certainly yes, it looks like there's no issue because it's freshly painted. But again, you're just hiding the problem. There's still a problem there. Where do we usually see people paint over mold? Closets are big offender, right? Everybody just paints over mold in their closet. They think it's so big deal. Well, there's no water issue here. It's a closet, right? Wrong, right? You can't just put these damp rid things in your closet, paint over the mold and think it's gonna be fine. As a matter of fact, I bet you, if you did that and you walked in, smelled the clothes in your closet, they'd smell pretty moldy and gross. Where else might we paint over mold? How about in the HVAC? How about when we get mold growth around the HVAC system because there's an issue with the HVAC system or an issue with the ducts being properly sealed and we have condensation problems? They're not insulated well, whatever it may be. And then we start to see mold around the drywall, around the vents. How many times we just paint over that? How many times? I mean, really think about it over the past 40 years. We have been telling ourselves mold's no big deal. No, just pour some bleach on it, paint over it. You know, I talk to people every single day And every single day I will find at least one person that's like, well, I got my Clorox wipes out and I took care of that. No, you didn't, because you didn't address the actual problem. See, wiping down the surface of drywall, it's kind of like painting over it. You're not addressing the problem. You're still allowed to exist in the wall cavity. It looks like it's gone, it's not gone. We've seen that in thousands of tests, right? It's because the problem is actually behind the wall and it's growing through the wall to the surface. So cleaning off the surface of the wall really does you no good. What does the data tell us from the EPA and HUD joint study? Every single mold species, with the exception of one, went up over the span of 13 years. 2006, 2019, 13 years apart, tested homes, every single mold went up in prevalence with the exception of one. What does that tell us? It tells us that the problem of how we build homes, restore homes, and maintain homes is getting worse, not better. It tells us that you and I are painting over mold, you and I are pouring bleach on mold, you and I are not taking this problem seriously. That's what it tells us. It tells us that if we don't start to turn things around, this global health crisis we're dealing with, I suspect that a lot of it has to deal with the quality of air we're breathing, the quality of food we're eating, the quality of water we're drinking. Personally, I believe that wholeheartedly. Well, I'm giving you a solution to improve the quality of air that you're breathing. And that's by properly identifying and addressing the problems and not painting over mold.